like this is what we're talking about. Right? We're talking about Pride Month and our reaction to like engaging in like a civil kind of, not civil like being nice, but like a civil kind of exercise, like what's happening in our country and how we like interact, right? Is that right?
Absolutely. No, and it comes out of a kind of jarring experience, right? So since we've been Dominicans for almost 15 years now, and since we've entered the order, there's been a radical transformation of what this month of June means in our society. Like, for example, Pride Month is now on your Apple calendar, right? On your calendar, and you can't remove it. There's the holiday there, and it's set there, and it indicates that this is the new civil observance, and this is what this month means. So I think we've been confronted with a reality, and I think that's very important to remember at the outset. This isn't a fight the church chose, for example. The church chooses plenty of fights, to be sure, but this isn't one we chose. This is one that landed on our doorstep and has intensified in very striking ways at a very fast pace in recent years. I mean, it would have been, something like this would have been unthinkable when we were kids.
Yeah.
And there's not an aspect of life in the month of June that isn't colored by this new social and political observance of so-called Pride Month.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And I think that it's, that's okay. So like, I think often, especially the church at large and people who are, and it's not just like with Pride Month, but people who aren't involved in particular movements, when there are big, quick changes to things, that our ability to respond is challenged, right? Like,
yes.
It's like, so like, what do I say? What do I do? Well, like, I haven't thought about this yet, kind of thing. So it's there that we need to be ready to respond and even interact in our own way. So with that, I think like, as we were considering this, there were two like areas, that big umbrella kind of areas that cover a lot, but that are important to start with and kind of guide the conversation in our movement in things. And the first we've touched a little bit on just like so far in the episode, but the first has to do with like the truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think this is very, very important because any response to Pride Month has to absolutely be rooted in the truth. And that's the truth of the gospel and the truth of human person. There's no soft pedaling of what we were made for.
Right.
The kinds of sexual acts that give life are written into reality. They're in us biologically, and those kinds of things, regardless of what various scientific enterprises hope to achieve, those kinds of things are fundamentally unalterable.
Right.
They can't come to pass in ways that some actors would like them to. So, for example, a man can't become a woman. It's just not possible. And that means that there are delineations about the world and about the truth and about actions that have to be made, and they have to be made in a clear way. And that by obfuscating them, we actually do more harm. So what does this mean in the context of Pride Month and in the celebration? Well, I think Christians should refuse those kinds of displays that threaten, for example, the goods of marriage. And that one ought to simply say, I don't believe that that's marriage. I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman. I understand that marriage means one man and one woman, and that any kind of sexual encounter outside of that context is not possible.
Father Gregory.
A Dominican, a Franciscan, and a Jesuit walk into a bar. One of them asks the audience to subscribe. That's not a joke. Any ways you can improve upon it?
Just don't tell jokes.
Right. This is not a joke. Please subscribe. Cheers.